Prime Minister Modi said that her speech in Parliament demolished the campaign of calumny on Rafale. Finance Minister called it an outstanding performance, but her political opponents are not convinced. Rahul Gandhi has said that it was drama that played out in Parliament on Friday. With me, Raksha Mantri. Thank you so much, Nirmala ma'am, for speaking to CNN News 18. Ma'am, you spoke for 2 hours and you put out facts in public domain. There was no rhetoric in that speech, but Rahul Gandhi is not convinced. He says that you lied and that it's a bunch of lies that came out that day. Do you think this battle is more political in nature, less on facts and more on perception?
Well, the battle can be defined by you the way you want, but the battle is not less on facts. It's rich with facts. I'm giving all the facts. Arun Jaitley is giving the facts. We are talking on facts. But unfortunately, Rahul Gandhi, the leader and the president of the Congress party, doesn't want the facts. He's scared of facts. And this is something which I said in the House also. And I don't know, I don't want to sound sarcastic. Probably the Congress party is not giving him enough briefing on the matter so that he understands when facts are given. And still, if he has some more questions, he is welcome to ask. But he asks the same question on which the first stage answer is given. You build it on, go to the second stage, third stage, I don't mind. But none of the fundamental facts which have been given are ever taken cognizance of. And he harps on the same thing. Sometimes, you know, with an element of sarcasm, if you would permit me, I feel like saying, if Congress party is unable to tutor him, I don't mind arranging for a tutorial. But please get yourself tutored. Get the fundamental facts. Haven't I, not just once, but somewhere 2, 3 times I've said, if he only sits with Sri A.K. Antony, the former minister, and gets to know the details, I'm sure he will, you know, understand the fundamental facts. No, but he's neither getting tutored by Antony, nor is he probably reading newspapers where the facts are being. Even yesterday, the report carried the fact that in the House, on the floor of Lok Sabha, I have said these are in pipeline. And you accuse me of, show me where the contract is, has the money gone? Money from ministries or from the air headquarters or army headquarters reaches HAL through the process. And the process has been already granted. We've already given approvals. N number of contracts have been signed for this amount. The technical evaluation committee, which is the second final stage, will have to say yes before the monies are released also in some others, and so on. But these are stages you should understand. And that is why I've used this language that they are in pipeline. No, you don't listen to that, but you say, she claimed that this much has been given. Excuse me, debates will have to be a bit more with both sides doing their homework, taking facts on board or questioning facts. No, facts doesn't matter to me. I will still keep throwing allegations.
You say that Rahul Gandhi is scared of facts. Why do you think he's scared of facts? And what makes you think that he's scared of facts?
Because they started a campaign on falsehoods. Completely. And it starts with the premise, the Prime Minister is a chore. Well, what is that? The process works. A decision has been pending. You reached a deadlock. The urgency with which Airforce wants the aircrafts, then the process back again works. All this will have to be understood by us before you conclude saying so-and-so is a chore. I mean, this is wrong. You don't besmirch people who are holding positions, even in cases which are proved of corruption. It will be indecent and unacceptable to call anybody that. And here is a man out on bail calling others chore. Prove yourself first, please. Clear the record about yourself, please. And on somebody who's not even a whisper of a allegation, even when he was chief minister, all the years that he's been chief minister and the 5 years he's led a clean government, you go on calling somebody a corrupt chore and everything else. That's why I'm saying he's scared of facts. If he gets the facts, the language that he's used, the brazen campaign on falsehood that he's conducted, will all fall flat. Obviously, he's not going to like that, will he?
Ma'am, he says that he wants 15 minutes of debate with the Prime Minister. And the Prime Minister fielded you and Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, but Rahul Gandhi wants to speak directly to the
Finance
Minister.
Is the leader of the House in Rajya Sabha. He is the former Raksha Mantri. He held that position twice before Parrikar took over and again before I came. And then I am here in the capacity of Raksha Mantri. So he fielded us because we have held this portfolio. I'm holding it for the portfolio now, and therefore it's only appropriate the concerned minister speaks.
What about the Prime Minister? Do you think Prime Minister will speak?
No, but Marya, I also want to ask you, are we going to get just going with the narrative which the Congress gives, or will the media please, like you've requested me and made me sit down to talk to you, make the Congress president sit and ask him these questions, saying, hey, hang on, the former Raksha Mantri, the current Raksha Mantri, have all given you in detailed replies. Have you heard them? Will you want to give some answers about them? Rather than keep throwing meaningless challenges, wouldn't you want to do that for the sake of the people of this country? Somebody sets the narrative saying, all right, I don't care. I mean, let me remind you. When I stood up to give answer, the very same Congress party and its leadership in the Lok Sabha stood up to say what? We want the PM to answer. Well, I'm the concerned minister. You asked for a debate in the House, and the House's procedure says, after you and the respective leaders of other parties, all other parties, speak their piece, it is for the concerned minister to give a reply. You asked for a debate, and what was your conduct? When the minister gets up to say the answer, leave it the fact that it's me, it can be anybody. The concerned minister gets up to answer, and you say, no, call the Prime Minister. All right.
So is he not interested in response?
Even more. And when the Finance Minister gives see the process, you know it well. Somebody moves the motion, they speak. Then from the Treasury benches, somebody else is asked to speak. That person speaks. Yes. In this case, it was former Raksha Mantri, current Finance Minister, Arun Jaitley, who stood up to speak. Then the turn would be of other parties to speak. Then everybody finishes, and then the concerned minister replies. You started the debate. You wanted it. You spoke, meaning Rahul Gandhi spoke. After that, from the Treasury benches, Shri Arun Jaitley gets up to respond or participate in the debate. What was the scene in the benches where the Congress and the other parties were seated? Papers were being given to young MPs to make aeroplanes and throw at us. In our regions, we used to call it as paper rockets were being thrown at us. Paper was being passed. Arun Jaitley is talking. Paper was being passed and arrows were being thrown at us. Photographs with phones were being taken, giving pose. Photos being taken there when the House was not adjourned. When Arun Jaitley was talking, would you feel hurt? Would you feel let down? Would you feel disappointed that you asked for a debate? You are saying there are critical allegations against the government. We are ready to give answers. You're wanting to listen, but you're listening?
But ma'am, that exactly is the question. If the BJP feels that they did not lose the recent elections because of that Chaukidar Chor Hai jibe, then why is the party, senior ministers such as you, Arun Jaitley, engaging with Rahul Gandhi if he is not interested in facts?
No, but it is a debate in the House. It goes as per certain rules. We have to, once we have agreed for a debate, we'll have to do a piece of our work. Will we not get up and speak? That's not engaging with X or Y or Z, but it is a debate which in the House, the chairperson, the speaker sitting there conducts. We are participating in it.
Ma'am, what happens now onwards? The debate has ended in Parliament. Rahul Gandhi is continuing to tweet, say what he says are his set of facts and your set of lies. What will the BJP do now? What will be the government do now?
But I also want to ask, if in the Parliament we've come out to give all the facts, people of the country watched the television, I suppose, and the proceedings, I suppose, we've given the facts, and of course people will have to make up their mind where the truth lies. And I also sometimes feel, the enthusiasm with which something called post-truth was thrown all around in the world, in fact, not just in India, saying, oh, nowadays it's post-truth, era of post-truth. Is Rahul Gandhi living in an era of post-truth? Facts are being given. Beyond facts, something else is what he wants to believe in. What's that? Would the media please question? Would the media please get answers for them?
Looking at what your cabinet colleague Ravi Shankar Prasad said today, he said that Rahul Gandhi is under pressure from Rafale competitor Eurofighter, and that's the reason why some middlemen, that is Christian Michel and HAL'S, were pushing that case for Eurofighter. Do you have proof to substantiate these allegations?
Well, first of all, being a minister, I can only say this much. I really can't understand how after so many stages were crossed, and with the urgency with which Airforce needed those fighter aircrafts, with the squadron of fighter aircraft numbers coming down rapidly, with a neighborhood building up their forces rapidly, I can't understand why the deal was not concluded. And I still don't understand. I said this in the House. The Parliament is in session, I'm conscious. I'm repeating only what I've said in the House, and I'm not saying anything outside after the debate or before the debate. Why did the then Raksha Mantri in February 2014 come out to say, where is the money? I did refer to this, saying, what is this? When negotiations happen within the ministry, the short period that I've been here, I understand. Even as the process is on, you're very clear as to what is the amount to be paid as advance the moment you sign the contract, and the ministry makes provisions for it. And post that, within 6 months, how much? Within 8 months, how much? First delivery, how much? The provisions are made here in the ministry. And without that, you wouldn't spend time negotiating. So once the agreement is signed, you know how much has to be released.
Ma'am, you said surprised. The Congress party had stopped the deal when it was in power because it did not get the money.
I get the feeling that there's something more to it. Otherwise, why would the Raksha Mantri then say, where's the money? From the ministry, if you're on the verge of getting an agreement done, you'll know what is the advance to be paid. You'll keep the provisions ready in your budgetary matters. That you're going for a big deal, you need to give some advance. This is the percentage of amount to be paid as advance. For him to say at that stage. And even today, aren't we being reminded that the entire thing was tied up? Tied up in what sense? Without the money, you went on talking with these parties?
So then, for the sake of transparency, as the Raksha Mantri, shouldn't you put out all these facts?
But it was a non-deal, no? They didn't even have the deal. See, deal, that is the fact that I'm constantly highlighting also. The way in which they speak, the then finance minister, the then defense minister, everybody says, oh, Airforce wanted 126. Why have you reduced to 36? Airforce actually wanted something like 500 or 600 aircrafts. Why did they decide on 126 then? You get me? The total requirement for Airforce, even during their time, was something like 500 to 600. Why did you only agree for 126?
But ma'am, then in that case, going by that logic, the link that is being brought in now is of HAL'S, Christian Michel linked to Eurofighter, and that's the reason why Rahul Gandhi tried to derail it. Is the government really sure about it? And because there are certain reports also that are suggesting so.
The government is not talking anything about it. There is something happening. I read a media report today that this person who's been brought to India on the Augusta Westland scam is also saying that there was something to do with Eurofighter and Rafale. Leads to a lot of questions, which now let the Congress come and answer. Are these the reasons why you didn't sign? Are these the reasons why you didn't think you were ready with money to buy it? He's saying it, not, I don't know. I've seen it in the media today. Strange, and it frightens me, Marya. Let me tell you this. It frightens me because if really you have done this much of work, the ministry has done its homework, you're on the verge of signing an agreement. Look at the comment. Again, something which I did read out in the House. On the one hand, the then Raksha Mantri gives the permission to go on for the negotiation. And in the same paragraph, he says, but come back and let the finance ministry, the MOD's finance look into the methodology at that stage. What is that? Are these ways in which you're delaying the purchase? Are these ways in which you're halting the purchase after having the technical committee given a clearance? You appointed a committee again in 2011 to say, see, everything is okay or not. And they cleared it for you.
Christian Michel is already in Enforcement Directorate's custody. Guido Hashke, as Mr. Prasad was alleging, also involved.
But it's in the media.
Yes. So
the reports are in the media.
The reports are in the media. Then for the sake of fairness, do you think this should be investigated so that the real truth comes out then?
Very interesting. But would you want to ask Rahul Gandhi if there's anything to do with their party on this? I find in this entire, let me voice my gripe for a minute, if you permit me, Marya.
Yes, please.
Any number of questions on Rafale, I'm willing to answer. But I'll also ask you, how is it for every question that Rahul Gandhi asks, at least for the period to which it pertains to their government, when the non-deal is what we should be talking about, one question is not being asked back to him as to why didn't they finalize it? Why didn't they tie it up? They constantly keep asking me, constantly keep asking the Prime Minister, saying, why didn't you finalize? Why didn't you give it to HAL? How did you decide on Rafale? My question, will you all please go back to him to say, why didn't they tie up the agreement? Airforce was waiting with bated breath. Give us. You didn't serve the Airforce. You left them high and dry. Wouldn't we want to ask of a party which was in power for 10 full years, watching this depletion of Scotland? Why wouldn't you want to ask him even one question, Marya?
Ma'am, I certainly hope Rahul Gandhi gives me an interview, then I'll get an opportunity to ask him. But this question, ma'am, Rahul Gandhi certainly is not going to let go of it. You'll continue to put out facts. As you're saying, ma'am, today he tweeted, quoting a newspaper report, that HAL does not have enough cash to pay salaries. And isn't it surprising? Anil Ambani has Rafale. Then he, of course, linked it to salaries and how this would lead to poaching. How would you respond to this fresh allegation?
It's not fresh at all. In fact, you would probably say, why am I going back? But I will go back. For all that they've done to HAL, the company today is sitting wanting more and more orders just to keep themselves running, which is what we are attending to. I've said this before. A rough comparison. For 10 years, each year, they gave something like 10,000 crores to HAL. Whereas we've been here only 5 years. For each of the 5 years, we've given 20,000 crores. Each year, we have given orders worth 20,000 crores to them. 5 years only we've been. 10 years they've been. You never attended to HAL and its problem from the point of view of, one, bringing better machinery, giving greater skills, order books, no concern whatsoever. The management of HAL is now struggling to cope with a lot of things, and we are trying to help them out. Whereas you didn't do any of that. And today you quote all these statistics as if it cropped up overnight. For a company of the size of HAL, problems don't crop up overnight. They continue over the years and then they rise like that because today HAL is in the focus. You're seeing this. That is why I asked one question. HAL in Bangalore is very well for you all to go and see it. Symbolic of the way in which Congress baselessly alleges, symbolic, is the fact that there is an HAL in Mgmt.
Yes, there is one.
Has he ever been there? Really, because as a member of parliament, he should be concerned about institutions, companies, particularly public sector undertakings which are in your constituency. No. Therefore, when you say this whole thing is about politics, yes, would you please ask, is it about politics or is it about genuinely wanting to do something?
Ma'am, someone would argue that one of the reasons why Rafale HAL deal fell was because Dassault was informed that HAL will need 2.7 times more man hours. How does holding back 20,000 crore help the defense PSU?
Which is the one you're referring to, that the Airforce or others have not paid them? See, I wouldn't want to put it in black and white, but there's a grey to it also. And that is, it may not be a complete answer, but I will also highlight. There are many cases in which HAL probably, for justifiable reason, delayed the delivery. And let us say, for example, and I'm not just defending the Air Force, in this case Air Force, they can also be Army, they can also be Navy. In a year, each of these forces budget their expenditure, just as they demand some money out of Finance Ministry and get it. If the delivery is not made within the year in which you have budgeted the money for it, and next year or delay of 2 years, they wouldn't in advance know when that is going to come. So they would move to something else. As a result, what happens is payments do get delayed. Not justified at all, I agree. But I'm giving you reasons why this could have happened. So when delayed delivery happens, the year in which delivery is expected, for which the budget provision exists, if it comes within the year, they pay. And if it doesn't come within that year, they couldn't anticipate, let's say it will come the next year or the year, second year after that. So provisioning budget for that delayed payment cannot be done, and therefore they just keep moving, and sometime they will get around to paying it. This is huge, and I'm not justifying it. They shouldn't be delaying it. And I've already called, I'm probably saying it here, I already called a meeting with the three forces and with HAL. The CMD is being requested to come here so that we sit and sort that out also. It's not as if I didn't know about it earlier. Yes. I've held meetings. But to say that somebody is sitting over that money is, if you ask them, they have their reason for it.
Okay, ma'am, last question to you. This is a political issue. You have ruled out a JPC. Is the government open to an idea what Rahul Gandhi has challenged the Prime Minister for a 15 minutes debate? Because in the run-up to elections, there will be debates.
Well, why should I even comment on it? What have you done with the replies given till now by the former Raksha Mantri, by me? You wanted a debate in the House, I've responded. What have you done with all that? No, you haven't done anything with it. It is more like, I will do a spit and run exercise. Now I want the Prime Minister to come and stand there. Even today, following up on the reply, he's only doing a personal attack on me, which I don't mind at all. He's very welcome to do it. But just tells me how completely desperate and agitated he is because his false campaign has been called out.
Thank you so much. Raksha Mantri Nirmala Sitharaman, always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.